Morning finally came. A fox. Fire blazes, snowflakes fall, and in slow motion, Henry's resolve, Anna's pain, and the cold became unbearable. He would have to change the tire himself. A brief moment, the atmosphere softened, leaned in and kissed her gently. Reached the edge of a ravine. One wrong. Henry and Anna were driving down a deserted road. Both were in a cheerful mood, enjoying the thrill of a long drive. Suddenly, a loud explosion shook the car, and it came to a sudden halt. The tire had burst. Anna panicked, but Henry comforted her and stepped out of the car. He looked around for a workshop, but the place was nothing but an empty forest. No sign of people, not even a small hut. Henry realized he would have to change the tire himself. He opened the trunk, pulled out the spare tire and jack, and began working hard to fix it. The cold wind was already blowing stronger, and Anna kept watching him nervously through the window. After a long struggle, Henry finally managed to replace the tire. Both sighed in relief, but their journey was far from over. Once the tire was fixed, Henry started the car again and drove deeper into the forest. The road was deserted, and the tall trees on either side created a terrifying atmosphere. Soon, dark clouds gathered overhead and the weather grew worse. The first drops of rain splashed against the windshield, and Anna quickly rolled her window up. Henry turned on the wipers, but the rain kept falling harder and harder. Suddenly, a dreadful sound echoed from deep inside the forest, like a heavy creature moving through the darkness. The two exchanged anxious glances, and a shiver of fear ran through them. The real danger had just begun. The rain poured down heavily, and darkness fell across the forest. Raindrops soaked the towering trees, while the wind howled like a whistle. Henry pulled the car over, as visibility had become almost impossible. Nervously, Anna asked, "What do we do now?" Henry decided they should wait until the rain eased, but instead of easing, the storm grew fiercer. Soon, snowflakes mixed with the rain, and the cold became unbearable. Anna, shivering, whispered, "We don't even have coats. How will we survive this?" Henry reassured her and said he would gather wood to make a fire. Near the car, he found a small clearing where the rain was lighter. He collected dry branches and sticks from under the trees, piling them up carefully. Anna watched him in disbelief. Starting a fire in such weather seemed impossible, but Henry's persistence paid off, and at last flames began to rise. The warm glow of the fire brought some comfort, but just then, a terrifying scream echoed in the distance. It sounded like a beat. The fire's warmth gave them slight relief. Henry told Anna, "At least, now we're safe from the cold." They sat close to the flames, sharing a faint smile. For a brief moment, the atmosphere softened into something almost romantic. She flinched at first, but then held it tightly, smiling. Moments passed in silence until Henry leaned in and kissed her gently. But the forest wasn't done with them. Rustling in the bushes broke the moment. Something was creeping closer. Anna recoiled in fear, but Henry stayed firm. He knew how fragile a romantic moment could be, yet reality reminded him. Death was still circling around them. Night deepened, with both rain and snow falling relentlessly. Suddenly, Henry spotted movement near the fire, two glowing eyes staring at them from the bushes. A wild animal, perhaps a wolf or a fox. Anna hid behind Henry, trembling. The creature advanced cautiously but recoiled at the fire's heat. Henry threw more wood into the flames, making them flare higher. The beast growled and slipped back into the shadows. But that one encounter was enough. They knew spending the night in this forest would not be easy. They had no food, no warm clothes, and no shelter. Every second carried the threat of another predator. Anna's exhaustion showed clearly on her face, but Henry comforted her, promising that as soon as dawn came, they would return to the car. Just then, a terrifying roar shook the air. Something much bigger was roaming nearby. The fire was their only protection, and the two clung to each other, enduring the long night under a cloak of fear. Morning finally came. Sunlight broke through the trees, though the ground was buried in snow. Henry and Anna extinguished the fire and began trudging. Back toward the car, the journey was harsh. The freezing snow numbed their steps. Anna slipped several times and Henry had to support her. Along the way, thorny bushes tore their clothes and left cuts on their hands. Blood trickled from Anna's foot, but she refused to give up. They both knew losing courage meant losing life. The forest echoed with haunting sounds, monkeys shrieking, birds flying with chilling cries. Every noise made their hearts pound faster. Yet Henry's only thought was, "We must reach the car." It slithered across their path. Anna screamed, but Henry quickly hurled a stone at it. The snake vanished into the grass. In that moment, Anna realized the forest wasn't just about snow and wild beasts. It was a trap of death at every step. As they pushed forward, Anna grew weaker, whispering she couldn't go on. Henry let her lean on his shoulder and kept moving. The mental strain was crushing them. Every rustle of leaves felt like the approach of a predator. Anna broke into tears, but Henry wiped them away and said, "We're close, just a little more." Suddenly, the bushes shook again. This time 2 glowing eyes appeared. It was indeed a wolf, hungry and ready to attack, waving it to scare the beast. Luckily, it retreated, but the encounter was like staring death in the face. They reached the edge of a ravine. One wrong step, and it would be the end. Anna clutched Henry's hand, trembling as they carefully crossed. Every second felt like a scene from a horror film. The pale morning sun scattered light over the snowy forest, but it brought no rescue. Exhaustion and fear weighed heavy on them. Henry's hands were torn and bleeding. Anna's foot still left, red marks in the snow, and their sleepless eyes carried only terror. Silence filled the forest, but it was the silence before a storm. Suddenly, a chilling roar shattered it. From behind the trees emerged a pack of wolves. Their eyes glowed like burning embers as they circled Henry and Anna. Terrified, Anna clutched Henry's hand and whispered, "Henry, is this our last moment?" Henry took a deep breath, his eyes hard with determination. Henry fed more wood into the fire, flames bursting higher. The wolves hesitated for a moment, then advanced again. Tears rolled down Anna's cheeks, but her faith in Henry grew stronger than ever. The camera zooms in. Henry swings the branch, Anna stands behind him, and the wolves close in, tightening their circle. Fire blazes, snowflakes fall, and the forest echoes with roars. Suddenly, the scene freezes in slow motion. Henry's resolve, Anna's fear, and the wolves' bloodthirsty eyes. Sometimes the greatest battle is simply to survive.